What are we gonna do without our wizard? How are we gonna fight?
What do you mean fight?
How are we gonna fight the dragon?
We deleted so many things.
The dragon? Well, why do you want to fight him?
I don't know.
I
Exactly.
don't want to. Do we
What
have
if you
to
can
fight
just do
him?
open heart surgery on him?
That's
right.
why
We
you
do
go
need
and
the
talk with
Well,
him.
he could also direct us.
I
to
would
a
have
friend
to-
that he doesn't like. We could.
Come
We
on, what?
could
Robot.
technically take him with us to the fold.
No way.
Have the Titans perform an open heart surgery and replace it with essentially a weave engine like mine, and he would be eternal. But he's already technically
That's
eternal
a really
because
good
he's a
idea.
dragon.
I like that idea. Let's
But
do
he's a
that.
dragon, so he's already technically eternal.
He already is eternal. Either way, so for
But he could even be even more powerful because he literally has the weave inside him.
so
More eternaler.
more eternal.
More eternaler.
I hate that.
Who's the most charismatic? Oh wait, we don't have a charismatic
Not me.
person in our party.
Sorry. I could have been.
I think. Hold on. Who actually?
I think it's Nate.
Yeah, you
That's
really
me.
fucked this up for us.
Actually, yeah, it would
Wait,
be
hold
Nate
on.
because he is a warlock rogue.
Okay.
I just deleted so many things and it literally didn't change anything.
I mean, I got a 12.
I mean,
It
it's
has
not
to-
a bad
it takes time
idea.
to update it usually.
It would probably make our
It
DM
works
kind of
huge,
sad
actually.
that he doesn't get to have us
I
fight
think
a
I watched
dragon.
all these videos from like my
Or-
stepdad, which makes sense.
Don't worry, I'll make it
Or-
happen.
Or we bring him with as like a just in case, and then he helps
Like
us
Clash of
get
Clans.
another heart of a dragon, and then we bring both of them with us anyways.
When you got the downtime in the D&D.
Okay. So
You know, your idea is literally charming a dragon, right? Which never works.
It's not charming because we're playing on tactician, and charm doesn't work in tactician.
Shut
Hashtag
up.
Baldur's Gate.
Okay.
okay. So
I learned that one the hard way.
for a little bit of a
They
recap
always
Y'all
become
woke up.
hostile.
with some
in
spider
tactician.
bites. After spending some time,
Fucking pissed.
some people were kind of pissed. Some people set their bed on fire. Others captured and talked to the little creatures. Over time, not too much happened in the last session. You guys got bit by some spiders. You went shopping. You discussed and decided to accept these two new members into your party.
We found out there was our rings being.
And you found out that the ring that pings dragons seems... You don't have technical confirmation yet, but you have reasonable reason to believe that Jack is pinging as an adult or greater dragon. However, he went out to the farmsteads that apparently the Strongbacks own to supply the Whale's Call with all of its supplies. So, last we left off, you guys had stepped back into the Whale's Call after doing some shopping and had not yet left to go do anything. What would you guys like to do?
I think we wanted to go to Jack's farm. I
Jack's
think that's
farm?
what we were. Yeah, the farm where he's working.
I don't think I was part of that conversation.
Yeah, Jack left, and we're pretty sure he's the dragon.
Mm-hmm.
And he was going to the farm that's southwest of town.
Okay.
And he was going to be there for most of the day.
I don't see why not.
Go have a little chitty chat.
A little chit chat.
Did you try to ping it really quick before we leave?
He pinged it like 7 times.
I did ping it.
Yeah, but now that he's
But-
gone, did you ping it while he was gone ever?
Yeah.
Yeah. I pinged it
Alright,
when I was
and it's-
inside, and then I went out back, and I pinged it again, and then I came back inside, and I pinged it again, and then I pinged it again, and then I pinged it again, and it kept moving away right after he
I
left.
actually want to check out Jack's office.
Ooh.
Mari's gonna suggest that we check out.
Alright,
This
well,
could be his office.
you guys are in the Whale's Call.
Perhaps they may give us a clue.
It is not incredibly packed right now.
It's like down a hallway too, right?
Yeah. So there's the main area, the bar, and then off to the right here there's an elbow. in the hallway, and then back in there are the bathrooms, and then Jack's office.
I wanna take a peek. I'm gonna drag the gnome with me.
Why the gnome?
Cause he's the one who talks
I'm
to the
cool.
spider.
Okay.
I don't see him. It's kind of.
What
There you are.
about-
Hello.
Oh yeah, there is no other screen around here. Okay. Yeah, he is back there.
Hello.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Did you-
expected to have someone over there, so I didn't set
Tell-
him up over there.
I'm gonna. Can I move it? Oh no, it's already.
You
it's
can
up.
move it if you want.
Well, it's plugged in, isn't it?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
it can survive being unplugged for a couple minutes as you move it.
Would you rather be on the table or do you like being up there? Because you're the one who gets to see our
he
face.
could-
I do have a view of everyone right
Okay.
now
I'll just leave you there
that I
if you
can
want.
switch to. So, well, no, I'm sorry. I meant I have 2 views,
Yeah,
and
he's
one
got
of them
views.
shows everyone. I'm willing to risk
Okay.
one being in a bad view
Is this the one that...
if it puts my face in a better spot.
If you want to go get his plug in.
Yeah.
What up, gamer?
Yeah. Now
Hello.
it's like you're sitting next to me.
You could also use one of those boxes to prop him up too.
Hey Nate, high five. Sweet.
yeah, so since the gnome can talk to animals, I'm going to drag the gnome with me because he's the one who talked to the little spider baby.
Have you explained what your?
Oh, I let the spider baby go.
Yeah, I know, but you talked to the spider baby, and we've had spiders
Oh, yeah.
disappear. So Nari's logic is that there's spiders in the floorboards, and you can tell them to fuck off or find out.
Okay.
Off.
Do you tell Drake that, or do you
Yeah.
just drag him?
Yeah, no, Nari will definitely say that.
I do
Okay.
not believe it wise.
You can
to
warn them.
Break an entry.
If it's unlocked, it's not gonna be a problem, Gordon. You need to chill out. I'm going. You can come along, or you can go do your own thing.
Spiders just came inside. We can go inside too if we want.
What'd you say?
The spiders just walked right into the place, so why can't we just go into another place? It's like the same thing.
Oh, they went into the office. Oh, well, yeah, even more so. I went to kill some fuckers. Oh, sorry. Investigate.
Yeah.
Hey, Trey,
Yeah.
can you just become a spider?
I
I
could.
think we're good without. Thank you.
No, he could.
Nari's not
Are you
the kind of
sure?
spider.
It's really
so
fun.
I'm like, no. If you would like to not wish risking your, if you, Nari's
I wouldn't die. Don't worry about it.
if you would
Even if you
not
trap
like
me.
to be lit on fire by a certain Genasi friend of yours, I suggest not turning into a spider. If you
I'm gonna cast Firebolt in my face and nothing happens for demonstration purposes.
He's casting firebolt
He's
in his
immune to
face,
fire damage.
even as a spider.
Technically,
No,
I don't know if
That's
the
what I
immunity's
thought.
scary. I do not believe so.
I don't.
It would just pop up.
If she lit me on fire, I literally would take no damage as I know, but still.
I've also got a nasty weapon that I like to call frostbite. Nari's gonna say it just like that too.
At this point,
I can also
mean,
freeze
If you
your
led
ass.
with that, I'd be scared.
at this point, the Goliath snake handler server slash bus boy is stepping over to you guys because you're just standing in the middle of the whale's call that's not very populated. He's like, "Are you guys okay?"
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. And he just walks away.
Perfect. Shall we go?
I'm gonna go sit down at my booth.
Okay. So you go sit down in the booth.
My booth.
I'm gonna take the gnome with me.
Are you
Okay,
like a
we're
booth
going.
at the
Am I
bar
there?
or?
Yes, you're.
Am I
Okay.
there?
I don't even know.
Wonderful question.
My booth in the corner.
Everybody's
making
They
here.
sure.
don't have booths at the bar.
I
So
don't know if we slept at a different place or not.
Well,
Well, you guys did sleep in a different place, but this is
That's why
actually.
we don't
That's
spare
not
beds.
great.
but
Not that
I
I'm.
picked it up. I'm picking up on
But
it.
we just rolled a 1.
well, I'm gonna go sit down with Mikhail then.
Okay, so Warden
Not
and Mike
that
sit
kind
down.
of session where it's either one or the other.
Nari and Trake begin making their way to the back of the building. Does Atan follow them,
Zach.
or does Atan stay?
I just
I'm
rolled.
sitting with the big
I
little
just
friend.
rolled a
He
deception.
seems smart.
Do we need to roll deception?
He sits with me.
It's
I
kind
did.
of it's kind of out of the way.
I had not asked you guys to roll anything.
Stop
what I thought.
rolling.
I rolled.
No, I was just
Maybe I
rolling
shouldn't
to
have.
like get a feel for my dice.
I didn't ask you to roll
My die.
anything.
Alright, if you did ask me to roll, then we don't need to talk about the roll.
I know it wasn't that one. I saw it. Don't
My
worry.
first one was my first one was 1. My second one was a 20. My second one. My third
Okay.
one was a 1.
So the
My
pair
next
of you
one was
guys
a 19.
step around the corner, and there is this the door is a large oak wooden door, pretty normal as you would expect. There is like a laminated, almost platinum embroidered nameplate that does just say Jack. Very simple, very simplistic, and
Very original.
yeah, Nari. As you go and you try the door, it is locked.
Alright, before we do anything dumb,
Hold
Arcana
What's-
check on the door.
on. Okay, go ahead and roll Arcana.
15.
15. From what you can tell, it is not magically enhanced by any means.
Is there like a gap at the bottom? Is there a breeze?
There
or
is a very
anything?
small gap. Yes.
Would I be able to see through it if I got on the
No.
floor? Is there a
Would
breeze
I?
coming through? Is it dark? Do we hear noises?
Go ahead and roll perception checks.
Not 20 plus 4.
As you put your ear right next to the door,
I perceive the wood.
you perceive the creaking of wood. You really start to focus in, and you like clamp Trake's mouth shut to keep him quiet.
Of course.
And you hear the ever faint sound of you can't quite tell. You can't tell if it's wind or if it's skittering or something, but there's something soft against the wood inside of this room.
Well, there's definitely something in here, though it may just end up being a rat. I suppose we'll find out soon enough. Can you open up the door, Trake?
I can try.
Ability?
Dungeon Daddy.
Yes.
I'm not calling. I'm not calling the little one that.
What was the name of the
child.
bartender?
The Furbolg, that's Woot.
He's a little easier to hold a conversation with than the Goliath, correct?
Tark is a little autistic, whereas Woot is more a druid than a straight barbarian.
Okay, well, Warden waves over Tark.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
I mean, we're like basically the only people
Okay,
in here, so.
let's continue with them.
I'm just telling
Yeah.
you that's what I'm doing.
Okay.
He's
So,
drawing the attention away.
No.
Well,
so
I thought you were gonna be helpful teammate, but you know.
what are you guys doing here?
No, the autistic kid's gonna find you.
Because
he notices
looking
a
through
slight
what I
difference
can
in
do, it
airwaves
looks like I'm
because
just
the
going to have to
doors
lockpick the door. I do not have any special spell.
Oh, well, I mean, I could try that as well, I guess.
Well, do you have?
Well, actually,
yeah.
no, I don't have tools. No, never mind.
Autistic Goliath.
I'm doing that thing.
Thieves' tools would be for lockpicking.
Yes.
Alright, I have proficiency in that.
Do you
So,
have
that
thieves' tools,
is-
though? Is the question.
what?
You may have proficiency, but do you actually have the tools?
Yep.
Yes, you do.
Well, it's a. That's a good point. Here, let me see.
I have 2 sets if you want one.
I'm gonna say we could just mentally talk to him.
Yeah. Hey, could we have some thief tools, please?
We're trying to get into Jack's
Lock it.
office, and it's a little locked.
Well, Warden, I'm gonna go take a shit. And I'm gonna head back down the hallway.
Warden
Oh, yeah,
lets out one of his long metallic sighs.
I'm gonna toss them
You didn't have to
the
broadcast that.
thieves' tools as I head for the bathroom.
I just go over to Warren and say, does he always do that?
1 second.
It is natural to have bowel movements when you are a living being.
I get that. Is it normal for him to just outright say it out loud that he's gonna be taking a shit in a very initiative and hinting manner?
I would assume out of politeness that someone would say that they need to relieve themselves. However, I have no such experience.
All right,
one
I
man who
just
does
lean back in the chair. I just lean back in the chair. If he's not thinking anything of it, I'm not gonna think anything of it. He's smart. I'm not gonna fucking think anything.
Okay.
Warden is thinking something of it. That's why he let out a big ass sigh.
So, Mike steps into the back room, or steps off into the hallway. On his way to the bathroom, he drops off a set of thieves' tools. Okay.
I
And
thought
do
you
you
were
leave
gonna
him
say he lets out a big shit.
in the
First,
hallway?
we release.
Passing the restroom.
Okay. Do you leave it with Nari or with Drake?
You know what the crazy part is?
I'm gonna hold them out and
Warden,
just see which
Warden
one takes
eats
them.
food. Like,
No, he's
you
gonna
can
take
taste
him.
and eat food
Yes.
and drink.
Okay.
Oh,
so
do we need to
But
do
it just
rock
gets
paper scissors?
disintegrated into his weave generator.
They both just reach for
Straight
it.
As you
Oh,
both
wow.
reach for it, both of you make me a dex check.
Oh, let's go.
That one, it goes underneath the door.
320.
30, 20.
Yes.
Wait, is it this one right?
It's just dexterity.
Plus
21.
21.
I rolled an 18. I don't have a plus 2 mod.
I got a plus 5 and I rolled a 16.
So, as Drake, it is just a arm length ratio. You reach out for it, and she just swoops the thieves' tools up right in front of you.
Bro got yoinked.
Bro got yoinked. It's a arm length thing.
Absolutely hoodwinked.
And Nari, so you now have the thieves' tools in front of you. Now, you don't know how to use these. I don't
Oh
believe.
shit, that's right.
You have no clue how to use thieves' tools.
You just do that.
as I reach for it, I'm gonna realize and I'm gonna be like,
I'm just staring at you, like arms folded.
I'm gonna
foot
take it,
tapping.
I'm gonna give it back, I'm gonna give I just wanted to assert my dominance, mostly, and now I'm
So Nari
still
swipes
cool,
it
Nari.
from Mike's hand, looks at it. As you're folding your arms, she just kind of doesn't look at you, but just holds her arm out with tools.
While I'm lockpicking the door, I'm just gonna say, "You're so cool, Nari. Wow, your arms are so long, and you're so fast, and you can just take whatever you
my
want."
wrists hurt
I'm gonna
after
roll.
getting a tattoo, okay? My wrists hurt after getting tattoos, I don't wanna fuck it up.
Okay, so this is going to be with this tools check, you'll have a +6.
I'll have a plus 6. Alright, that's 9 plus 6.
So with the 15. So as you go to unlock the door, you take a little bit longer than you would have liked, but you do eventually hear the satisfying click as you pass through that final barrier, and the lock snaps loose, and you go to open the door.
Mhm.
Opening the door.
I'm gonna draw a dagger.
Okay,
Just
so
have one in
I don't go through the door, to be clear.
okay.
I don't go through yet.
As you open the door, how to best explain this? There is. I'm gonna actually change this around a little
Nothing.
bit.
It's just a desk
Nothing.
with a drawer and a plain
There is a
bed.
dead, naked man laying on the floor.
There's
There's-
actually just a giant spider,
So
Australian
as-
style.
As you open this door, you see an amalgamation of webs just all over the room. And as the door begins to creak open, you see hundreds of spiders, ranging from the size of a normal wolf spider that you could easily fit in like the small section of your finger to tarantulas that could almost encapsulate one's chest.
So we're talking
They
about
all-
huntsman spiders.
Like stupendously quick, disappear through the webs into the corners and crevices of the room, seemingly falling
Is it
through
a dark?
the cracks of the floorboards.
I'm going to start casting Gaius on Nari.
Gaius?
Or G's. I don't know what it's called.
Guys.
What is that?
It is guys, is how it's pronounced. It is a
Guys.
5th
Guys.
level
Guys,
spell.
you're gonna want to see this.
Okay, and what are you wanting to do with this?
I don't have to tell her aloud what I'm gonna make her do
You'll need to
before
make a
the
wisdom
spell's
saving
cast, do
throw.
I?
Not wisdom. Oh shit, I just...
No, you don't.
My bad.
This is you issue the command as you are casting the spell.
Alright, so we got a minute before.
That's okay, I don't think I...
Tell me when a minute's up, and I'm gonna command Nari to do something.
No.
Okay, well she has to make a wisdom saving throw, correct?
I just.
At the end or at the beginning?
Let me see. Hold on before you roll.
my
You place
practice.
a magical command on a creature that you see within range, forcing it to carry out some service or refrain from it. Refrain from some action, of course, of activity as you decide. The creature can understand you. It must succeed a wisdom saving throw or
creature?
become charmed for the duration.
Living being.
So whenever it would enact, it is not when the saving throw is had. It is at the beginning.
Absolutely.
Have you seen that?
So she would roll it immediately as you cast it.
Every time it's so...
Okay. I'll
So is it
have,
wisdom?
I'll have her roll.
Yeah.
It's wisdom 16.
And what is your command for her?
Ooh.
Nari, the inside of there is a pool. Dive in.
Oh, what?
There's a pool and dive in.
Inside there is a pool, so dive in.
Okay,
Make a
so
wisdom.
okay, I have a question though. Does this change like what I'm actually seeing, or do I just have to follow the command?
You are basically hallucinating.
You would be charmed. You would not be hallucinating, but it would be as though you are no longer in control of your mental faculties.
You'd be like, I know there's not a pool in there, but
Fucking yeet!
that one, please.
18.
18?
Oh, she
That
saved.
does say. So,
She had a +0, dog.
Do I know that he just tried to do that to me?
Yes.
let me
Oh, yeah.
check. It does not specify. You for sure know some form of influence just tried to take over your mind.
But I don't know who.
But you do not know who.
I would
Who?
assume that it's
Sorry.
him because I don't think he's
Spooky,
Does he
nice.
isn't
say the command telepathically then? Does he not say that
Does it have verbal
command
component?
as the verbal?
I'm trying to figure that out right now because it is
Does it
just
have
a
a
verbal
verbal?
command.
Does it have a verbal component?
It does have verbal. It is just verbal. There's
Oh.
nothing else.
So then would I have heard him say that and then could
Yeah.
maybe deduce?
Well, the verbal is a command.
You could probably deduce that it was probably coming from Treg. I'd have to figure. I'd have to look into the
He's all the
spell.
way down here, right?
Yeah, I don't know the spell, so I would have to look into it more carefully to really make a more precise ruling on that. But I'd say, yeah, you hear the faint, like Sylvan druidic language in your mind, trying to take over your.
And I would. Okay. I'm going to quickly punch him in the gut.
Okay.
Not enough to like send him flying backwards, but enough to hurt. And I'm gonna
Ow.
say, what the fuck was that for? Are you fucking idiot? I need to get the fuck out of here. This is a fucking mess. And I'm like starting to panic. Like Nari's just like starting to like internally and externally freak out. She's gonna say over oh my gosh, telepathic chat. That's what I was trying to say. I was trying to make it sound cool though. The Rocky Talkies. Over the phone chat. We need to first get the fuck out of here. Second, burn the place down. Thirdly, file a health code violation.
Call OSHA.
That's HIPAA, actually.
Whoever we need to call. HIPAA. HIPAA's not the right one either.
HIPAA's met.
HIPAA's health.
Yeah, but
That's
that's a
like
privacy.
that's like health
That's
privacy.
privacy. Okay.
That's
It's the
yeah,
health
that's like doctor
information
and
privacy
patient. That's
act.
patient
OSHA is
confidence.
still not the one. Though.
OSHA's not it
OSHA's
either.
workers like safety, like
It's not.
That's like
it's construction.
machine. That's construction.
yeah, it's bad that you have so many crevices to allow spiders into the building.
fair.
Make better foundation. I don't know.
So I'm basically gonna say, we just opened Jack's office and there were a lot of creepy crawlies, and these creepy crawlies are gonna give me the creepy crawlies in my nightmares. So we need to exit rapidly.
And also, Nari punched me.
That's much less important than what I'm saying right now. Are you kidding?
Nari, you feel a small
I'm in
pinch
pain.
on your left backside.
Nari's flipping out.
Run in that
Sorry.
room.
Nari's now gonna run,
Okay.
and
Are you guys gonna close the door?
I don't think Nari even thinks that far, to be honest.
Trake, do you?
I don't leave.
Yeah, Trake. So, looking into the room,
Nari's
the
going
spiders have
These
seemed
two.
to disappear
Actually,
into
you're there
crevices.
with us, aren't you?
Are you
I'm
wanting?
taking a fat shit.
Oh, you.
Are you
even-
wanting to
Damn.
go inside the room and investigate, or perceive from the outside to see what's going on?
First, I'm gonna say, hey guys, I'm gonna start talking to these things. We got about 9 minutes by the time you get here. If you want to ask them some things too. All right, and I'm gonna go into the room and shut the door and cast.
Go into the room and shut the door.
Yes.
Okay, Trake.
Nari's now just grabbing Warden, and she's gonna go grab him out of the restroom, off of the pot, and start running.
Okay, you'll probably take a minute to go back.
30
Get
seconds
them.
tops. Nari's freaking the fuck out.
Okay.
I literally
Trey.
just waved
So
down the
as you step in,
bartender.
roll an investigation check.
Was that me?
Yes, roll an investigation check.
Got you. Intimidation, investigation, based on my intelligence. So I got a 7.
That checks out so solidly.
Oh yeah, it does.
So, as you're looking through the room, you find a surprisingly large amount of like notebooks and ledgers for taking down stock lists and how much gold intake they had and such. You find a couple interesting books, however, they have been webbed through so thick that you can't actually read what's in them or their titles. Around the room, you're almost having a hard time moving around and picking stuff out because it is just that covered in webs. You continue to look around and you find one particular ledger across the room that seems to catch your eye. It has some kind of silver embroidery along its edge. It's a steel-bound book. And as you begin moving over towards it, a spider probably about the size of you begins to encapsulate the book as it crawls out from behind this bookshelf that you have no idea how it fit behind. And it doesn't
Speak with
seem
animals now.
Okay, so as you cast Speak with Animals, there is silence. You can sense probably thousands of creatures within 5 feet of you. But none of them are speaking a peep.
Zoinks.
Okay.
Anyway.
I'm gonna say like really timidly, I come in peace.
You hear what you can only assume to be the echo of your words in the minds of 1,000 itty-bitty spiders with one intelligence.
That could drive someone crazy, honestly.
And
I'm
from
gonna step towards the door while I'm hearing this echo.
as you begin to step towards the door, this large spider pivots around the edge of the room. Not towards the door, away from the door. Almost as to beckon you out.
Deck me out. Out to where?
Out of the room.
Oh, it wants me to leave the room.
Yes.
Before I go, I could give you some food.
As soon as you say food, that again echoes throughout the 1,000 minds with jittery excitement.
Food?
Food. And as you said food, you begin to see the spiders crawl up from the floorboards and get onto the webs. Almost as if, you know when you see someone like step on a sack of spider eggs? And you just see hundreds running out? Imagine that, but from the floorboards, as they all pivot and step and just surround the larger spider that is in here. That again, you have absolutely no clue how it got in this room, because it can't fit through the floorboards.
Right.
Is there a window in it?
No,
I guess
this is a boxed-in room.
I will give you food if you give me something. Can you talk? I'm going to dress the big spider with this.
Okay. You hear in your mind, what would we ever need to offer?
I have lots of questions, to be honest with you. But, do you know Jack?
No.
He's a Dragonborn. This is his office.
I do not know one by the name of Jack.
That's not his name.
Okay. Take another step towards the door. Okay, how long have you been here?
But a day. Now where is food? We prefer the living.
Yes, Okay.
Offer him the one we don't like. The dude we don't like. Wherever he went, is he still here? Not even Ethan's character. Gorsh? Yeah, we don't like Gorsh.
Gorsh is sitting outside with Warden having probably a nice talk about magic.
I just went and grabbed them and
Well,
started.
you just ran up to us, but I just also like moments before that.
I'm coming up and saying, you're needed in the shitter.
Or the bartender walks.
I'm gonna give him,
the bartender.
I'm gonna give him a look that, and I'm gonna say telepathically, you're needed at Jack's office. Now.
Is the bartender just got up? Like, is he at the table yet?
Yeah, he would be over there discussing with you at this point. So
Okay, because I was like
Wu
wanting
kind
to
of
talk to him
comes
about
over and
things.
is like, or Tark or Wu?
Tark.
Tark.
Blink
So Tark
twice.
comes over. What
Blink
are
twice
you?
if
Do
you need
you want to
help.
order something?
Is that when I come up?
I'm sure
In a
these
second.
folk would like to order something. However, I had some questions about you and the people who run the establishment.
Oh, well, what do you want to know? We've been here a while.
Would we know that they used to be adventurers?
Yes, they've already spoken to you about that.
Could you talk about your adventures?
Those are some long stories, and I'm not the best with words. Jack would be better to tell you those stories. He keeps it all in a book.
Oh,
You're needed in the shitter.
No, I'm saying you're needed in the shitter. Well, I'm telepathically saying you're needed at Jack's office. And then I'm gonna look around and be like, I need his rod, okay? And then just hop it away.
Warden is
So that we're
going
not
to.
followed.
Claire, this isn't the right space for that type of talk.
Get a room.
I'm trying, okay? I'm trying.
Warden
Okay.
Warden is going to kind of just, as she tries to reach for my hand, one of my arms, like two of my main arms are resting on the table, but one of my arms reaches into my bag and hands her, like as she's reaching for me, my secondary right arm meets hers, and I have a bag of like the spider repellent, and I just kind of hand it to her, and I was like, give me a moment.
I'm gonna, oh, well.
You good?
Who's that?
Jade.
I can't hear you guys.
Can you cannot hear us? Okay.
Oh.
Can you hear us now?
Oh.
Hello.
Can you hear us? Can you hear anything?
We can't hear you.
My man?
Yeah.
Oh, we're
You
good.
can hear us fine.
We can't hear you though, my dude.
Yeah.
Yo, stop stressing.
Turn on your mic, bro.
Take a breath.
Watch him just be muted.
Are you muted, bro?
We really should learn some sign language just for you so that we can still...
Imagine
I'll teach
sign
you.
language D&D.
Honestly,
Oh, it'd be rough.
actually it's
No.
that's
Australian.
something, that's not American, that's, yeah.
That's fuck you in
that's
Italian.
Italian.
I know.
There you go.
It's another sign language.
I cannot hear you still.
True
From the
that.
ball.
Yo, he's
From the-
stressing so much.
Dude, just flip your mic over to your laptop.
He can't do that.
No.
You can't?
He can. It's just really, really bad. He's about to text me something.
IT.
Let me take over your computer. Oh, he's calling me. Hello?
I didn't do anything. It just all of a sudden set off your audio, so I left to see if it'll come back. And now my audio is gone. I didn't do anything. I don't know what's going on.
And you checked your Discord audio inputs and outputs? Yes, and everything lines up properly?
Yeah.
Lies.
Deception.
My Wi-Fi is crap right now, though.
You
So
need
I'm
this.
going to change that.
Crust?
She likes bread.
I love bread.
She is a fiend for crust.
Women.
You didn't mute him, did you?
No, he's not muted. He is full volume.
Bread is my boo, boo is my bread. Well, I really want this chocolate, but that's not available at the moment, so, you know.
Sure you're not pregnant?
Very sure, actually.
Fair.
I am trying to think of anything that could have happened.
Maybe he cast a spell on it. Like he tried to cast one already. I feel like Nari and the gnome kind of have a somewhat sibling relationship in that we're just constantly like fighting, but also like not because
I mean, it's okay. I literally call him child.
because you paid for my choice, so you know.
I call him child.
You call him child. Then you call me woman.
Yep. And him Raven.
Oh, I didn't.
I still need the plate, bro.
And him
I mean, I didn't know that.
Dragonborn.
You've got something over you now. I think you've deafened yourself, which also mutes you.
Fun fact: you should learn.
Well, if he deafened, he wouldn't be able to hear us.
Huh?
If he deafened, he wouldn't be able to hear us.
Check. Oh,
Yep.
that looks like it's working.
Yes,
Yep.
it is.
Great.
Okay,
Anyways,
so Nari,
we'll pick
we're
up.
back to you guys. He heard everything.
Okay, so I
So now
hand you the
he's-
spider repellent and say, in a moment.
Okay,
Nari
does
take
it look like spider repellent, like, or is it just a bag with spider
It's
repellent
the
in
stuff that he gave you guys earlier.
it? Okay, but does it look like just a bag?
Well, were also in the shop when
Okay,
we bought
that's not the point.
more spider
I
repellent.
just want to know what the bag
Go
looks
ahead
like.
and roll me a perception check. Does it look like spider repellent
No,
to you?
no, I'm trying to see if I can pass it off as not spider repellent because I have all these people in front of me that I'm trying not to let on to that.
It literally just looks like a
It's a
leather,
small vial of stuff.
It's a
leather
leather
pouch.
It's a little leather pouch, like this big, like this. Like it would be tiny. In
Okay,
his
so
palm.
as I'm leaving, I'm just gonna make eye contact with somebody. Does anybody make eye contact with me as I leave,
I mean,
or do they
your
care that I'm
party
there?
is looking at you,
Everyone's
Oh.
looking at you.
obviously.
Well, what about the like? Well, they know what's happening though.
Yeah. I mean, Tark is certainly confused as why you wanted his rod, but other than that,
Okay, I'm just gonna take it and be like, and then just leave with running with this thing.
okay.
Anyways,
So you run back and you go into the shitter. You grab Mikhail.
Mm-hmm.
What were you wanting to ask?
By the way, I follow behind her.
Okay,
Is-
he's
suspicious
joining the
now?
orgy. Okay, got it.
Tell me-
God.
tell me a bit about Jack. How did he join your party?
And we're gonna get to that in a moment. So
You're not important.
Well, I'm trying to
It's
delve
like the
into.
it's like the cutscene back and forth
Yeah.
between like. The
I'm
actual
trying
acting
to actually like
conversation
shelf
leading to
over
something.
information here, and then the other half of the party is just trying not to succumb to
Shit their
spiders.
pants.
So, Nari goes back and just bursts into the bathroom. Mike, would you have finished by then?
Let's see.
Look.
Do changeling shit
Yes.
Dexterity.
besides me?
I'm like squeezing out just the last little bit, like as she walks, and I'm like, "What? Still busy."
Not anymore. Wipe your ass and let's go. And then I'm gonna leave.
I'll just let it itch when it dries.
I'm gonna toss him
Jingle
a
berries.
vial of spider repellent before I leave. Actually,
Okay, so you catch this little vial. It smells like lavender.
Nice.
So,
fucking hate
Atan,
lavender.
as you get to the door, Nari is coming out of the bathroom and going just like 5 feet down the hall to the door. So, Drake.
One
I'm gonna
last
toss him a vial,
question.
too. I'm tossing you a vial. I'm sorry, you're
I
gonna.
give
need
you
it.
I have the last question. I will give you some flies. But I know you like food. What else do you like? So maybe we could do something like this in the future.
Our mother.
What a waste.
Cool. You ain't the mom. That's terrifying. Here's the flies. I'm gonna get out the door. Close it.
Okay, as you step
And-
out the door, all the spiders begin to move towards you. And as you open the
I gave him
door,
flies.
as you
Flies.
that doesn't matter. As you open the door, you see Mike, Atan, and Nari right there, all with these little vials.
What,
and
you
you
went
guys
with?
see.
Yeah, I said that.
You guys
Okay.
can pretty much not see webs, as it is just a black wave moving towards you in the room.
I'm gonna throw a vial, like into the middle, and then I'm going to, cast.
Don't burn the place.
I'm gonna burn the place.
The place is. We're not going to burn
Oh,
2
no.
taverns.
Wait,
They've already burned one tavern
what do you
down.
mean 2 taverns? There was a first?
If I had a dime for every
Yeah.
time this party burned down a
The
tavern,
There'd be
I have
2.
2.
But it's strange.
But it's strange that it happened twice.
I need to watch the VODs. Holy shit.
Please,
Are they
someone
in the VODs?
catch her hand before she
Fuck, okay,
burns
I need
the
someone.
actual
No,
tavern
No, it's
down.
fine. I
Not
can
your typical
cast. I
barbaric
can cast
ball.
something cold,
Okay.
and then after this to help put out the fire.
No.
Hey, Warden's not there. Nari, what is your first response to seeing a wave
Actually,
of spiders run at you?
You know what? I
Some
could.
invisibility.
I could Loki actually. I'm gonna swipe at where he just was.
No, he didn't.
No.
Thomas.
No, he
I'm
was
just
making a
looking
joke
through
of
my
throwing the point of
inventory.
invisibility into the
I'm
spiders.
just trying to lure.
I'm invisible.
Oh no.
Imagine invisible. They pretty much are invisible in the dark anyway, but imagine them actually being
I'm just
invisible.
thinking of that meme where the 2 people are running from giant spiders in the tunnel,
Yeah.
and they're like throwing random
The-
shit out of their packs,
The
And one of them
cartoon.
just hits and they all turn invisible.
and they're like, "Oh, that one got rid of them. What was that?" And he goes,
Probably
"Oh,
invisibility.
No.
that was my potion of invisibility."
Starts running
You
4
could've
times
used
faster.
that to
Okay,
escape. That's
actually, I'll cast chromatic orb.
That's a single target spell, just FYI.
No.
Well,
You'll want to cast something more like Burning Hands or an AoE spell if you're really wanting to take out a wave here.
I wanted to
not
take out
pissing
a wave.
Also, remember, this is Jack's
Private quarters.
orders.
Yes.
With
Don't.
with loads of information that might be important.
Okay, Nari doesn't think about any of that shit when she's got thousands of enemies coming towards her.
Okay, Nari. So what do you cast?
The fact that spider's not the one.
Can I detect if something's about to be cast?
I close the door really fast.
Thomas, you
How
can
fast can I close that door?
What is the?
My
Very
expertise in
quickly,
Arcana means nothing.
Nari, go ahead and roll me a d6 real quick. 3. So you have enough Trake. As you open the door, you jump out and close it before Nari's able to cast the spell.
Damn.
And as that happens, you guys see little spiders crawl out from underneath the door.
All right, now use your little fire finger
Yeah.
to put with each one of
Yeah,
them.
burning hands. Cast burning hands.
No.
Just on the ground. Just.
Okay, go ahead and roll me an Arcana check to see how well you can rather than making a 15-foot cone of flame.
9.
9. It's not as bad as it could have been.
At this point, the door's closed. I'm just trying to keep them from coming out at this
Okay,
point.
yeah. So
So I'm not going in there.
You set the doorway aflame,
Wonderful.
and all of those
I
spiders
put a
start
spider
to
repellent thing
burn
on the
to the
bottom,
crisp.
like it's freaking
You-
salt
you-
for demons.
You spread that over. Do you try and put out the flame immediately?
No, not immediately.
Okay, so Mike.
Is the floor made of wood?
Yes, everything's made of wood here.
Can I use my breath weapon to stop the fire?
You're going right.
Yeah,
Okay,
nice.
well,
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you'd stop the fire, what are we gonna do about the fucking spiders?
Freeze the door shut.
That's
Oh
literally
no,
what
because I was
it
gonna
would
be
do.
helpful.
It's
How are we gonna
literally-
get in there?
Well, I literally am
You
in
explain that?
strength. I literally can just break it down.
I
if
don't
we
know.
need
How
to.
are we gonna get rid of the cold? I don't know. Maybe fire.
Okay, so does Atan use his breath weapon?
Yes.
The
So
thing that you're
as
telling
you
me not
set
to
everything on
use.
fire, Atan just ice encases the doorway.
Wonderful. So what are we doing now?
Well, that's
We-
sorted. I
I-
want to start headed back.
Sorted?
out.
I'm gonna grab his fucking tail feathers if he doesn't turn around.
I'm going to shift into one of my other forms that doesn't have a tail.
And the feathers, what you're grabbing
Can I-
onto, literally just seems to morph into his body as he swaps to a
I
more
can't tell you
humanoid
how
form
hard
and
it is
walks away.
being Team Mom when Mom doesn't know what's going on right now.
Yeah.
Well,
there's
maybe
just
Mom
this-
should have come to the bathroom when.
Maybe Mom
I'm
should give me a
sorry.
rod.
I'm sorry, but the entire party flocking to Jack's office definitely wouldn't raise an eyebrow from the level 20 party.
Not my immediate concern at the
I-
moment, Warden.
I actually don't. What's your character?
Nari.
Nari. I just go over to Nari. I'm like, this isn't the fucking time. We have people here. This isn't nighttime. This is daytime. We need to move.
Daytime.
Daytime. Even I'm
daytime.
Even I'm not the smartest in the fucking shed, but I know that this is sabotage. This
You
is,
don't even belong in the fucking shed. What the fuck are you even doing here? There were enemies coming at us. I set out to eliminate them.
I stopped the problem from escalating.
He's trying to tell
That's true, Nari. And he's not that smart.
As that happens, Warden, you see Whoop walking into the back room. Because this has caused a commotion at this point.
Yeah, probably because they
As
feel this sudden
this-
change of temperature.
you. During this entire commotion,
From
has he
fire-
answered my
from
question?
Yeah, he's starting to speak with you about things. I mean, what are your questions?
Well, first, I wanted to know how Jack came to join their party.
Okay,
This
we'll
release
roleplay
this.
through this.
Yeah, I've been waiting this whole time just to have a simple little conversation about lore.
But the thing is, you're asking about that conversation while other shit's going on.
Yeah, I know.
While
I
while
know.
more pressing shit's going on.
It's like the battle.
Mine's
side, and then
lore.
it's
I'm
like
trying
the
to find out who
conversation.
Jack is.
Well,
It's like Tom Cruise
I
fighting
honestly
someone in the
don't remember
background.
very
as
well
people are
how I
slipping from
met
coffee
Jack.
shop.
it was
It's like one
I
for
wanna
one being
say
like killed by Shepard as the comms coming through. It's like, don't trust Shepard.
15, maybe 20 years ago, in the southern end of the Khatanid Empire, when we met, a Roman herd, and he happened to be a sweet-talking little thing that we met, and ended convincing me out of the ways of the herd, and he already had Woot with him, who apparently he picked up from the Caladrian Empire, and we began doing little missions here or there, and over time we ended up just coming to the Dwendalian Empire, doing some work, and got a charter to come over here under early on they were offering better benefits for Dorns coming over. So we signed into a 1-year indentured servitude to come over. We were one of the first groups that entered the fold, more on the northern end. And we lost one there, but we came back and did some more work and killed a lot of things and made a lot of money. Won multiple tournaments, and the Strongback name is held in about half the taverns of Gwynder.
Has Jack always been the leader?
Yeah, generally. At least he's the best with words. We're pretty. What's the word? Democratic?
Yes.
That's the word.
Analysis, what was you trying to say?
Democratic.
I would agree. He is very democratic with words.
With as you say that, you see Whoop step out from behind the counter and begin to go into the back.
Have I heard this whole commotion going on?
Oh, you heard a bit of a whoosh and that shh with the ceiling of ice. Not very loudly, but definitely audibly.
Warden's going to look at him real quick as say, Sir, real quick, you haven't had any run-ins with a lot of spiders in your travels, have you?
Well, when we're talking about here at the tavern, this is about the time of year they start to come in.
I understand that. Jack gave reasonably the same answer, and I also agreed in the efforts to tone down my party. However, in your adventures, have you come across any strange spiders?
Go ahead and roll me an insight check.
Am I coming back out as he's going back there?
Yeah, so you come back out. What form have you taken?
I'm in my black guy with dreads,
Ha!
like bodybuilder
Sorry.
black guy.
Okay, so bodybuilder black guy, who he's never seen before, just walks by him, and he gives an odd look before continuing on, looking around the corner, and just seeing a frozen door with Atan, Nari, and Trake there.
I forgot that I'm proficient in insight.
And Woot just said,
That's why I let out the...
Well, what's going on back here?
I walk up to them. I say,
Trake's just pointing up at you.
I say, we were putting down some spider repellent because, you know, it's good to be safe and all that because of the spider stuff. And then I had a really bad burp and it just went all across the...
Go ahead and roll me a fucking deception
Oh, okay.
check. Yeah, okay, let's see how this goes.
It's a 5 plus 1.
6.
Here's a box of dice.
Oh, thank you.
No, you don't have to use cards. So he kind of cocks his head a little bit and says, I was certain I heard a rush of flame. We wouldn't happen to know who. Honestly, it could be either of you. And he points both to Nari and Drake.
Nari's gonna
What'd you get, Nari? She did it.
Damn!
You're pretty quick to point
Accused?
fingers. That doesn't mean it's not true.
Nari's gonna try and keep a poker face. Claire can't keep a poker face, but Nari's gonna try and keep a poker face.
The barbarian end up getting into talking.
I apologize for my young friend.
There may be some additional fees for melting an ice doorway. I'd have to consult
What?
with Jack, considering that's his office.
That's his office?
Yeah. Yeah.
Go ahead and roll a deception check, Nari.
Please.
God
Please.
God damn
I'm
it!
gonna keep his original insight roll as well, because this is right next to it.
What was his insight roll?
You don't.
You don't get to know. That's the fun part.
What was it?
Deception.
15?
-1?
I have a negative 1. I have negative 1 charisma, just in general.
So
I have good performance. Fuck.
I was
so,
gonna say,
as
performance is negative
as you
for
say
me.
that, he's like, and he takes one big step forward and taps the like silver-plated door name on the door. It's like, yes.
what's that say?
She's illiterate. She can't read.
I'm going
in.
He wouldn't know!
Drake is like muttering to himself and
10.
it cannot
plus-
control
sorry,
how
persuasion.
embarrassed he is.
This would be deception again.
Deception.
Well, we'll call it persuasion.
Oh, deception. I know.
We'll
It
let
would
you
be
do
the
it.
same. Can I use performance?
No.
Plus 11.
11. Okay, and he just looks at you, just deadpan.
What is this guy again?
This is a large furbolg.
Yikes.
So I don't know
I
if you're in the
swear
Discord.
This
he
is
got
the
a
cow
nat
monkey
20,
man.
and we're
Yeah,
so
this is the last one
The cow monkey
posted
man.
in the Discord in A Whole New World NPCs.
Is this
Yep.
That's the
Oh, like
He's
this?
raising his hand.
fascinating?
Looks
Yep,
like,
that's
he
a
looks
verbal.
like a cow thing.
That's not how I would describe him. But okay.
It's like a blue cow monkey.
It's
Well,
like a
roll a
troll
16.
face.
Oh fuck!
And he's a 20th
Like
level
that kind of
druid.
like.
Oh
Combo. So
shit!
he's based around wisdom.
What part of we're dealing with a 20th level party that owns
No,
a
I'm
tavern?
not worried
did
about
we
that.
not
It's a
understand?
druid that's coming.
He is a druid, and it's not necessarily obvious, but he
I
is.
would know that at this point.
I don't think you would. Either way, he's like, I think I'm gonna have to ask you to leave the premises for now. Or at least these back rooms. He points at Trake. Yes?
So, unlike these two, I'm not an idiot. And I'm not gonna lie to you. There's something in there. That's not good.
There's a lot of things in there. You'll have to be more specific.
How many of those things have 8 legs?
At least one.
I can vouch for 1,000.
Well, that's a lot of spiders.
Nori's gonna start like slowly backing away.
As that happens,
Just very, very slowly.
He holds a little flame in his hand and then begins wiping it on the Ison doorway
Produce flame.
and just starts doing that. He doesn't seem to be paying attention to you guys anymore. He's just like, well, I gotta get back here now.
Okay, and
You do that. Oh, where can we find Jack?
He's, as far as I know, he's visiting our farmsteads, mostly west and a little south of here.
Do you have like Rocky Talkies that I could talk to him with instead of having to...
We don't
Go there?
permit outsiders to use our communication devices.
Could you tell him that he should probably get back and that there is a 50-pound spider on his desk?
I'm sure it's not 50 pounds. I probably would
Okay.
have sensed it. However, I am entering this room in attempts to reach a communication device.
I'll wait here, just in case.
I think it'd be best if you leave.
I'm gonna start
He's gonna sit
dragging
down.
him. I'm gonna start dragging him as away. We don't need to bother him. We can just.
Nari grabs
Go.
the scruff.
Warden's supposed to give us something.
what?
Does Trey
Um,
try and stay, or does he just let Nari drag him?
He's gonna do neither. He sits down, he intends to stay, she starts dragging him, he doesn't fight. He just doesn't help either.
Like I'm dragging a fucking child.
You're dragging a 40-pound creature just
Fine.
through the hallway until you get outside, and you guys hear
Warden's just been
Some
Warden's
sort
been
of-
watching all of this transpire.
some form of you wouldn't call it an explosive, but just shockwave in the room.
What? Can you start that again?
From where we left?
Yeah, from where you left, you
I'm gonna
feel
book it back
some
in
kind
the
of
room.
shockwave. You want to walk back over?
Well, I just want to peer
Oh,
around
yeah.
the corner personally. I'm gonna let
Peer
go of
around
him,
the
but I'm gonna
corner?
peer around.
As you peer around the corner
Of the
Woot
hallway,
is-
not
Woot-
of the
yeah,
room.
Woot is closing the door behind him as he walks out with some kind of device in his hands. Seemingly very calm.
Dude, he
What
just,
would I roll to
he
identify that
just
device?
evaporated all the spiders, bro.
What'd you say?
What would I roll to identify that device?
You would not.
Okay.
Mr. Druid, you would not, sorry to say. So he
Warden
steps out,
over there.
he looks at you again, almost with a "you shouldn't be here," like a disappointed dad, and then steps around to, both you and Nari, who are peeking around the corner. And there's another doorway around, at the end of the hallway that he steps into.
Are you gonna leave yet?
As you guys are both peeking around the hallway, at this point, Warden, you know you were speaking with Tark, and Tark, hearing the shockwave, also kind of steps up, and very quietly steps behind Nari and Drake and peers around the corner as well. Huh. Well, that's interesting.
How loud was this shockwave?
Almost everyone in the bar could hear it, but it was just very quick.
Okay.
Just one shock.
Okay.
By the way, I'm already sitting back with Warden. I'm just back in chair. I'm just gonna sit down and be like,
Warden, at the sound of the shockwave, or the feeling of the shockwave, or whatever it was, did brace the table ready to jump upward,
Yeah.
but then...
And that's when Jack was like, just literally gets
not-
up
well.
with the snake wrapped around him, just peeks around the corner.
I mean, Tark.
Yeah, Tark, sorry.
Yeah, he meant Tark.
Did
I'm gonna
Tark
grab
answer
Nari and I'm
my
gonna rush
question?
back to the room.
Did Tark answer my question?
Yes.
Wait, to which room?
What was your second question?
No, my final question that I rolled insight for, and then you never asked me what I rolled.
Well, you never... I don't remember this. What are we speaking on?
I asked him if they encountered any like strange spiders in there, like what my party's
yes.
describing.
Yes.
And I
And
rolled
had
I
you
rolled a dirty 20.
You rolled a dirty 20.
Yeah, because I rolled a 12 plus 8.
He clams up. It's very obviously probably something with your insight compared to what he rolled. It's probably something he was told not to talk about, but is not very tight-tongued. And so kind of let slip a little bit, but is at this
Okay.
point no longer going to
Sounds good.
conversate about it. So Trake, you want to go back towards the doorway?
Yep, and if Nari's following, he's grabbed her arm because I assume that she's still held by the scuff.
With Tark being right behind you guys, he grabs both of you by the back of the neck, lifting you up off the ground. Let's leave that alone for now, and sets you on the other side of him.
No problem by me. I was being dragged.
I got a spell going on that I don't have very much longer for it to use, and there's a lot of frogs
I'm
out
gonna
here that are
gut
angry,
him so
and I
he
want to get
can't
away from them.
finish out that sentence. Elbow in the gut. Again. Cause he needs to stop saying shit.
As you're saying that, you guys hear from the front door, just to the front door of the tavern, and Warden,
Not the slow.
Gorsh, Mike, and Atan, you guys all peering out.
I'm just trying to remember.
Yes, I'm a Kravis Guild.
Yes.
You guys see entering in the doorway is a tall, very tall, like nearly 7 foot tall, rail thin, green-skinned figure with narrow faces, a flat nose, and brown spots all over his body.
Insight check, please.
You're not there.
We're not
Drake.
there.
You are around the
Dang
corner, looking into the hallway. I specifically said the names
Frick.
of those who see him right now.
Dang it.
And he just seemingly enters the room. He's wearing like a leather duster with a pair of blades on his sides, and he just kind of looks around and then steps off to the corner on the left side, opposite from you guys. And
Automated
sits in the corner.
response.
Huh?
Does analysis threat assessment?
Go ahead and just roll the d20.
Okay.
Just roll a 20.
Yes, roll a 20
Roll a
specifically. That would help a lot. That was not a 20.
It was a 14 out
Okay.
of 20.
So, analysis has a hard time pinging this guy. It almost pings it as unknown, which is arguably scarier than any rating it could have given you.
Any verbal? My automated verbal response?
It doesn't have a response.
Oh shit. Oh. Warden usually doesn't get no response.
Just like a busy toe.
Warden's going to just
Automated response.
you're sitting right in front of me. You've never seen this, I don't
The
think,
chat.
because I've had my helmet down this entire time. But you just see like immediately like from like the back of my head just a like my helmet. It's not that loud, but
I just
and that you see the face mask of my helmet just basically come down.
I just grab the table like,
And-
you're actually a fucking robot.
I literally had my limbs turn into things in front of you.
I don't know. Thought it was a feature.
That was a feature. Yes, a feature of being a robot. I love that. That's pretty great.
So that steps in, Nari, Trake, as you guys are picked up and set back down. You guys are set down to the view of this tall figure sitting down in a booth.
It was a feature.
Now insight check.
What are you
Warden-
attempting to insight?
Warden is
the
sitting
question.
perfectly still with his fists closed, and he's like
Is he just
peering
standing
off
there?
the corner of
He's
his
sitting
eye.
there now. He's just sitting.
I'm sitting, but I'm facing. I'm like my
I'm
back's
not
against
talking
the
about you. I'm
wall.
talking about
and
the GIF.
I can see the
Or the
whole.
whatever we think it is.
I can see the whole town.
Yeah, and as
Now that I
he sits
can see.
down, Tark seems a little almost flustered by it. The few people that are in the tavern get very quiet when he walks in. And Tark begins to step over there to see if he wants to order anything.
I'm gonna make a note in the chat. So, anybody else notice that the temperature dropped as soon as he walked in, kind of thing? No. Okay. Cool.
Unknown. That's all I said.
I'm going to make my way toward Jax's door if no one's paying attention to me now.
He's going back.
Go ahead and roll me a stealth check.
Yikes.
Because there is still
Cool.
one other member of the Strongbacks who is behind the bar.
Dang it. Warden, your armor gives me disadvantage.
I'm sorry. I wasn't expecting you to try to break into a level 20
I would have
member's
rolled a 24.
office.
Let's see what I roll now.
1.
I rolled a nat 1. That's a
You don't
7.
even make it into the hallway. You literally fall over.
I was waiting for it. I was waiting for it.
Physically fall.
I'm just gonna cast Mage Hand in front of him as he turns around, since clearly every single person in this bar sees him turn around to go back.
Oh, he turns around
there's
and
just gonna be
literally
a
falls.
Mage Hand.
He
swing.
falls down, gets up really quick to round the corner, and just sees this finger waving in his face.
Not there, not there.
You tripped and fell.
Also, as you turn around, the last server of the Strongbacks, another Goliath named Reek, or the orc named Reek,
Not Reek.
he comes from
Not
behind the
Reek.
bar and is like, I think I need to clean up some stuff back here. Give me a second. And he pulls, almost like from the wall, this little like caution tape bar and just pulls it across, almost like a bouncer at the front of a nightclub, just closing the door. But it's just this one little tab that
Just-
you could legitimately walk underneath.
I was gonna say right at his height.
No, it's above his head. It's above his head.
Child, I need you at the table. I say over the walkie-talkie. Rocky-talkie.
Rocky walkie talkie.
Warden, I'm getting mad. I don't want to be near you right now. I'm gonna do something stupid.
Are you talking specifically to Warden or over the chat?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, do we have a choice here?
Well, I talked specifically to you.
You're
so
not right next to him
Okay.
right now.
I
Neither
said
do I.
that directly to you, so.
Okay. Can we do that?
Yes.
You've
You can
always been able to do
you've been able to choose who and how many people get to listen in.
That's nice. I was just making sure you guys.
that. Okay.
Apparently my comment about me being
Wait, Zach. Last ditch effort. Last ditch effort. Speak with animals. Probably has a couple minutes still. It's almost done, right? It's 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's got a couple of minutes left.
Are there any spiders in the room? You said before I could sense them, but if I speak out to them right now, would I get a response?
You don't know. You don't know if you get a response. That's a question for when you attempt it.
I attempt it.
So you try and send out your mental self to try to communicate with any of the creatures within a couple feet of you. You get nothing. You sense a
Nothing
couple
from the
things.
room.
You sense some life forms around you, but you do not sense anything wanting to talk.
Alright then. That's gonna have to satisfy him. He'll trudge his way to Warden.
Nice.
So he returns to the table, where pretty much everyone has converged at this point.
I'm back in my bird form now.
You're back in your bird form.
Yep.
Okay. What do you guys want to do?
My primary bird form, that is.
I'm gonna go sit down.
Do we have food?
Yeah, you guys have some food at the
Yeah.
table.
Okay. I'm gonna gesture to him to start eating, like the plate, and like eat more, but not say that. I'm just gonna kind of
I just start shoveling it down.
yeah.
Just nervously
I'm gonna walk over
Who's
to
the green
table,
guy?
Be like, so are we gonna do anything about the miniature devils we have here who have come to eat us? It's gonna be quiet like that too.
Are you talking or are you Rocky talking?
No, I'm talking.
I'm going to switch over to Rocky Talkie and broadcast all the ones who have it, except for the one shoving his face. Nobody knows about the wizard because he's not here.
He is physically there with you guys.
I know he's physically there, but it's like I think the spiders can wait. We currently have someone in the bar, and I have been unable to analyze it.
That doesn't mean it's our problem.
I have never been
Wait.
able to fail analyzing something.
That's also not necessarily means anything.
No, that's really bad.
I have never, analysis has never failed to respond to a threat. Whether it be,
Maybe it's
10
not a threat
or-
then.
Mike, go ahead and roll a perception check as they continue.
analysis
I
has
feel like I
never.
need to see some shit in my other set.
and then I'm going to very briefly once again describe what analysis does in the midst of threats.
I'm gonna mentally block him out as he's doing that because I've heard that.
No.
over and over
I'm going to give it
before.
like
I'm
it's going to
mentally
be like
mute.
it's going to be like a 10-word description. All it's going to be like
19.
analysis will give me threats.
I'm
If
gonna,
the threat is nil, it will tell me the threat is nothing.
So, Mike, as the only thing that's really interesting to look at in this tavern is sitting down, you kind of look over. You're kind of trying to be a little nonchalant about it, but looking over to that corner booth, and as he sits down,
we're not talking about.
the face. You've maybe seen one or two Gith'Yanki in your time, but not many.
Were there Gith'Yanki 14,000 years ago?
Huh? Yes, they were far more prominent in this world.
So I know what
14,000.
they are.
Oh, you for sure know that this is a GIF. You wouldn't be certain whether it be Yankee or Zerai, because that was actually an important distinction at the time. Either way, you looking over his face, there's almost something wrong about it. He seems to be looking at Tark, but it's almost blurry. And as it's blurry, you know your way around illusions, or copies of oneself. And there seems to almost be the eyes split into with a second set right underneath that are locking eyes with you. And as you see that the Gith'Yanki is actually almost a little agitated when Tark comes over, almost specifically towards the snake that is wrapped around Tark. And there's a little bit of discourse. You can't quite tell what they're saying, and Tark seems to leave, having not received anything ordered.
I'm going to go ahead and just shift into my white form, my white Kenku form.
Go ahead and roll me an insight check.
And I want to see what they do.
Your white Kenku? He has a white Kenku form?
Yes, he does.
Evidently.
Oh, wait, that's
going
right,
to be a
sometimes
28
there's-
for insight.
Damn.
A
His-
very
his-
stalwart face. There does seem to be a little shift, almost as if a question is raised in his mind. Just an ever so slight twinge of some facial features, and then just deadpan again. And he pulls out a book and begins marking down things inside of it.
Uh-oh.
Why are you staring at him?
Warden is gonna.
I'm just going to blatantly
Can I
ignore
gut
him.
him? Can I gut punch him again? I'm just gonna.
I'm just
Alright,
gonna
my armor class is
telepathically-
19, Nari.
What?
I'm actually gonna use it if it gives me disadvantage.
What are you saying?
She said she gut punched me. My
No.
AC
I
is
said
19.
I'm Nari saying, can I gut punch him again?
Can I?
Can
Not
I?
do.
Like asking, not actually doing it.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to just speak telepathically directly at this figure.
What?
Hello there.
Hello?
Out looking up from his book and continuing to note down. Hello. Interesting figure.
Why do we always do
Not
this with
commonplace.
all of the weird figures? We always telepathically try to talk to him before doing anything. Story of Gith'Yanki.
It seems you know your way around
And Prometheus.
figures and
Oh, that's
illusions
true.
yourself.
Prometheus was first.
It is a skill my people cultivated from the beginnings of time. Others are merely borrowers of the techniques.
That's such a good thing to say, actually.
Intriguing. What brings you here?
Work. Many things.
Can I tell if it's the Gith is the illusion, or if there's further illusion to it?
Go ahead and roll an Arcana.
Hmm. 11.
You can't quite tell.
Okay. Hmm. And what are your people?
Do you want the short version or the long one?
I'm more partial to somewhere in the middle. Can't do much with anything too small, but it's too long, it hurts.
The Gith are the greatest creation, but we were not created by the divine. Great beings, great sorcerers, great warriors, freeing millions from slave empires, and are, instead of rewarded, pushed away, cast out to the astral sea. We are the greatest. We are what should be.
Interesting. So when you referred to illusion, you think that my people have stolen this from you. Is that what you mean to insinuate?
The Fae stole many tricks from others, and the gods stole even more. The beings that were here before the gods came, well, they used as inspiration. Arcane magics were around far before the Fae were involved in the prime material plane.
Trying to remember, is the astral sea, it's not technically part of the prime material plane though, right?
No, so how it sets is you've got your three in the middle, the
Mhm.
Feywild, Shadowfell, and the prime material plane.
Right.
And then in between those notches, you have the four elemental planes. And then encapsulating all of them is the astral sea. The astral
Okay.
sea is what physically is in between the primary planes of existence and the outer planes.
Okay.
What does Warden know of the Gith?
Warden's
Well,
opinion
sorry,
of
a
the
ton
Gith,
of the Gith. What's his,
would-
sorry, what's his Asics know of the Gith?
Asics,
But then Warden, obviously.
Yeah, what A6 remembers of the Gith is the fact that they were an incredibly arrogant, but incredibly powerful group of people that were incredibly anti-celestial and anti-infernal. And were probably the most, in terms of overall advancements, the most advanced city-state in Agslugdan in the North Sector. Half of which was encapsulated by the Fold. But A6 did not have much interaction with the Gith. What Warden would know is that probably around the time that he was adolescent, just fixed by the Gwendolian, Dwarven Smith, acolytes, there was a massive war that was going on. There was a Gith'Yanki invasion about 6 or 7 years ago at this point. That was seemingly the reintroduction of the Gith to the prime material plane for the first time in a very long time. You, however, as Warden, would not know much more than that, as Warden did not participate in any of the combat, and he has probably not even had an interaction with a Gith.
Okay. Good to hear.
How much would I know of that war?
Between the Gith and Illithid?
On this plane. Was it between the Illithid? I thought it was with this plane.
Well, if you talk about the war recently,
yeah.
then yeah. Go just ahead and roll me a history check, because you're mostly a realmer.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. So, you know that there was a lot of very hectic things. You know that the north was always, anything north of the Ashkeeper Mountains, was always very, very difficult to kind of go and explore. It was kind of just dead, a wasteland. However, at some point, after some production was being had and things were actually being discovered in the north, everything just went silent for about a year. It wasn't until a year and a half after that silence in which some random ass floating, flying creatures with tentacles started appearing, and there were scouts specifically from Avarian that came back saying that they saw a ship the size of a city. And Avarian were the first one tipped off. The Khatanate Empire was next. And they're the only two northern bordered that communicate with anybody, because Zyron doesn't. And so all that information started to go down south, and by the time it reached the southern borders of Calandria, some cities had already been ransacked.
Okay.
You know that they didn't really get any farther south than the Ashkeeper Mountains. There were some major things that happened in the Khatanate Empire. The Khatanate Empire, they reached far, far farther south. But the three northernmost cities of the Avarian Empire held on pretty strongly. That being Exan in the far northeast is still under Avarian control. However, their more northwestern city, known as Nirn at the time, a very heavily just military-based city, was overrun and is now... There was an ancient city underneath that is now the primary city there that's pretty much been raised by the Gith'Yanki, and some of Avarian and the areas around Nirn was taken by the Gith'Yanki Empire during the war. However, a stalemate was eventually reached when, you know, the Gith'Yanki's original intent was to destroy the Divine Gate. But they were stopped in doing that due to just time constraints, and so they kind of backed off as their primary goal could no longer be obtained.
Okay.
I mean, yes, I do.
Is your work going to be a problem for me and my friends here?
Go ahead and roll a persuasion.
21. This dice is rolling okay tonight.
That dice is rolling okay. He seems to take a moment to ponder, and he says, I'm not a man around numbers, but I would say it's a strong chance. Neither today nor this tavern are the place, though. I am merely a purveyor, a spectator for now.
We're just leaving it at that then.
And he just kind of goes back to his book. Takes some time. Doesn't seem too hyped about anything.
Okay.
At this point, Woot is coming out of the back rooms and kind of steps over to your table and says, I spoke with Jack and he is awaiting your arrival at our southwestern farmsteads whenever you are ready to head that way.
Warden stands up and collects his things and gestures to the party, saying, I believe we should go see him.
Alright, so,
Yeah, me too.
yeah,
I follow the big guy.
follow the big guy.
Alright. Well, let's go. Hey, there's no spiders out there.
Before you change back into your black kenku, he's gonna pluck one of your white kenku feathers.
Ow!
Now change back. Please. I'm really curious.
Are we leaving, like, walking?
I'm just gonna, like, stare
Yes.
at him. And then walk out
Do
the
it
door.
how you live.
It was already.
He's gonna keep an eye on the
So,
feather.
Mike, as everyone was in the commotion of getting up and stepping out, the Gith wasn't in your primary focus, and as you're stepping out, he is no longer in that corner booth.
Is anyone in that corner booth?
No.
I just kind of keep that to my... Keep my mind on that. I'll probably ponder that for a bit. But I won't say much of it at this moment.
Can you roll me a d20, just real quick?
That sounds like calling me.
Ooh. It's gonna be a 2.
Sounds like calling me.
Was that a 1? Or no, that was a 2, sorry.
It was a 2. You just said roll a d20.
Yeah.
It was almost a nat 20 and then it rolled over to a 2. I should not have switched dice.
Don't worry about it. That's okay. Don't worry about it.
What's he crying for?
I don't know.
Yeah. It sounded more like an I'm sad or not happy. Not
I
a
got hurt. That's what it sounds like.
It sounds
Or also
I
kind of
got
sounds
shocked.
like, yeah, either shocked or something happened that he did not like.
Either way, so as you guys step out
Maybe
and
I had something left to go.
begin taking the paths west out to the outskirts of the city, probably pinging the ring once or twice to make sure you're heading the right direction.
Yeah.
You guys eventually go outside. There are no walls around Karth yet, so you guys kind of just walk out from what appears to be a lot of buildings to less buildings to less buildings, up until the point where you walk about a quarter mile out of the city. And you see one large barn, along with a couple different homesteads, and then just fields with large fences around them. You would say this is probably, from in your eyesight, before it gets over the ridges, which it continues through, you probably have 20, 30 acres that you can see that you would guess is all this one farmstead. You do not see Jack out and about. However, you do see there is a large clump of, you would call them sheep. They're a little malformed. They generally have more metallic fur and skin, and they have 6 legs opposed to the normal 4. Just as everything with the animals in Darren. Everything's the same, but just a little bit different. It looks different, it acts the same, but looks different. This would be the Darren version of sheep. And they seem terrified hunkered in a corner. Like 50 of them pressing
Of
against the
these
corner of these sheep-like creatures, yes.
Is there any? Did we see anything besides us coming in? That's.
No. Go ahead and roll perception checks.
Everyone?
Yeah.
Oh well, I perceive the air around me.
Nice.
That's about all I perceive, though. I perceive 14.
Huh?
14.
It's a 12 plus 8. Dirty 20.
I got a
8?
22.
I got a 9.
9, 14, Trick, 19.
19.
Okay, so both you boys with 20 are over. As you guys are looking into this rage,
Yeah, suck it.
you see, not in the field where the sheep are, but the next one, where there seem to be some more cow-like creatures, larger creatures. There are some pretty large splotches of bloodstains, along with a couple randomized assortments of limbs of these 8-limbed creatures.
The cows are 8-limbed?
Yes, the cows are 8-limbed.
There's no light on in the ranch? The barn?
I mean, you couldn't tell from here. It's daytime out, so
Oh,
it's starting to get late afternoon at this point.
Is this? We're not to his farm yet, right?
No, this is his farm.
Oh, this is his farm.
You would guess so. You
Oh.
haven't seen the sign saying, yeah, this is like Strongback Farm, but you were told that it would be about a quarter mile out of town, and I mean, it's pointing right this direction.
Okay. Well,
walk to the barn.
looks like we're here. Something's here. I don't know if that's
something.
normal.
There is both a homestead and a farm. The homestead's a little bit closer to you guys, and the farm is a little bit, or the
Okay.
barn is a little bit deeper.
I'm gonna go ahead and point out that to the others.
Okay. Yeah, so you all notice there are some little splotches of like reddish purple liquid in the field.
Warden's gonna walk up to the homestead and knock on the door.
Okay. As you knock on the door, after about 10-15 seconds, you probably knock once or twice more, and you hear the very, very soft thump thump, thump thump, thump thump. As stepping over to the doorway, you see a small halfling form that steps to the door, and it seems more older halfling gentleman, kind of limping, has a limp in his right hip, and he kind of opens the door. I wasn't expecting visitors today. Would you, who are y'all are well armed? He seems a little nervous.
That is no.
You know Jack?
Yes, Jack's the owner of
The
these.
metallic
farms.
side.
Jack's the owner of these farms. Yes. Are you friends of Jack? You look like you'd be friends of Jack.
Yes.
Why would you?
I have to stop talking. Don't have to take over.
Yes.
You say that now.
And it is no cause for alarm. We were just told to meet him out here.
Well, he was out in the fields not too long ago. He should be coming back in here pretty soon. Matilda! And you hear the creaking of like a wooden chair and another set of much more calmer footsteps as they step around the corner, and an elderly white-haired halfling woman steps around from the corner. You know when Jack was coming back in? Oh, well, I didn't think he was going to be coming back for at least a couple hours. What? You haven't let them in? And she pushes him out of the way and beckons you guys to come in and be seated in the living room. I got some scones in the oven. Would you guys like some?
I would love a scone.
Yeah, please.
Scones are good.
We also have some fresh milk and such. So hopefully enough to
What
wash
kind
it.
of milk?
All of them.
I think I'll skip the milk, but thank you very much for your kindness.
All of them.
All of them.
That's like a wet
I'd rather
dream
not play
for
milk
for
roulette.
Me, for me, Jack. That sounds like
Dairy roulette. No thanks. I'm
Dairy roulette. Goat. Squirrel? Wait, what?
Spider.
Spider. It's just mixed webs. Churned web. So you guys kind of get seated, and the old halfling man introduces himself as James. And they kind of beckon you in. There's a plate of different baked goods that they bring out. There's a couple different chugs of milk. There's some water. They have some tea as well that they have brewed up.
These people do they act suspicious at all?
No.
They're okay.
They seem super wholesome.
They're literally.
Are
just
they
farmers.
married? Are they married
Yes,
couple?
they are. No, they're just living together.
They're literally
For
just
tax
farmers.
They're just 400-year-old halflings just living together.
Yeah.
Tax
Well,
Tax benefits.
tax.
So, are there any questions you guys have, or any conversations that you guys bring up while you're here?
I would like to. Are there any pictures?
There are some pictures.
There
Go ahead
are
and roll me an
art.
investigation as you kind of peek around their living
well.
room.
Oh, just to
17.
verbalize it, I did switch back to
You did switch back to your
my
black form.
standard form
Okay.
along the road here.
So, Nari, you kind of pick up one of the scones and one of the cookies, and you kind of look around the room, and on the banister, you see what seems to be a hand-drawn picture with both of the halflings sitting on the shoulders of Jack.
Does Jack look younger than he is now?
Far younger.
Far younger. Oh, this is a sweet picture. When was this drawn?
James kind of comes over. About, I want to say, 30 years ago.
Does
it
he
was
look
wild.
that much younger?
You don't know Dragonborn age looks very well, but
I
he does
would,
look
though.
significantly younger.
Than maybe the 30 years, or
Well, then, what he looks like now,
Just
30
now.
years ago,
okay.
maybe. Yeah,
Maybe.
you
Okay.
can see it.
Okay.
Um,
Interesting. That's so
yeah,
neat.
he's quite the artistic boy.
He drew this?
Yes.
Huh. I would not have guessed that about Jack. Our friend Jack. An artist.
He's quite good at it. All forms of art, all kinds of music and such.
Really?
Yes.
Learning
He's a
things
bard at
every day.
heart. He went to a bard's college for a time. It was expensive, but we made it work, and now he's got about all the money he could ever dream for.
Wait, so how do you know Jack?
Well, it's both a sad and very heartwarming story. And his wife kind of comes over and holds his shoulder. Well, when we were younger, a lot younger than we were now, we figured out that we couldn't have kids, so we started adopting. Mostly some of the races that had shorter lifespans, things like Dragonborn, humans, and such. And Jack just happened to be one we picked up along the way. He was already almost an adult by his people's time at that point, but just so that he would have a place to call home. And after a couple of years, he was sort of interested in the arts, and so scrounged a little bit of money up and helped him out to go to the Bard's College. And we didn't see him for another 3 years about that, other than postcards. He started meeting other large, tall figures like himself. And apparently they were starting to do some work for large, rich corporations and peoples. And all of a sudden he came back and brought us out to the Gwendalian Empire. And a couple of years later, after he came over here to Dairn, sent us back 2,000 gold so that we could get over here.
Wow. That is very heartwarming.
Yeah, we have a couple hands from inside a Karth that...
How long ago did you adopt Jack?
I want to say about 30, 35 years ago.
And you say he already...
He was nearly an adult by that time.
Nearly an
yes.
adult.
He would be considered a little above middle-aged for his people.
What is his?
Hmm?
How old is he supposed to be? What's a dragonborn adulthood?
15.
Yeah, 15's Dragonborn adulthood.
And if he's middle aged,
a little above middle-aged is what they're saying.
So he's like 40.
So if he was
supposedly.
almost an adult when they picked him up 35 years ago, you would assume he's about 50.
Okay.
No.
checks. If he was adopted. I'm thinking to myself, don't worry.
I know.
he was always very well spoken as a child. I'm assuming he had some form of schooling, or at least some kind of mentor that was able to teach him.
You don't know
literacy.
much about his life before he came into yours.
No, he's very quiet about it. He has a lot of scars from it. Physical scars, that is. He has a couple scales missing on his back and such. Lived a
sad.
rougher life.
Well, I'm glad he was able to find you and live this dream and
Well,
help you achieve this.
It
I know
was
this
a lot
wasn't.
small. It was a lot smaller with him growing up. He barely fit.
I'm asking you this: would Warden know in his studies how long it takes for a metallic dragon to be considered an adult?
An adult, probably 300 to 500 years.
Okay. The math ain't math. Anyways,
Or he's just faking it.
well, obviously he was already roughly an adult when he.
Yeah.
Anyways.
That means disguise.
Well, we've got to go do our duties. We've got
Of course.
some of
I'm
the
so sorry
we got
to
some of the
intrude.
young ones from Karth coming out. Jack's been purchasing up some of the slaves and freeing them and letting them work out here on the farm as he's growing things. So, you know, we've been trying to do our due diligence towards the unnatural forms of work in this world, but they're about to be coming in a couple minutes here, so we need to go out and work.
Of course. Yes. Thank you.
If you need
we'll just
anything,
wait here.
just
if that's
let
okay.
us know and we'll find things for her.
One last quick question.
Yes, of course.
Is today Butcher Day for you guys?
Yes, actually, we take it, well, about every day is Butcher Day. We have enough flock over the ridge. We have about a couple miles down, a couple miles wide. It's a couple hundred acres or something. And
Is it typical to slaughter them in the field?
I mean, sometimes. Jack generally does most of it with certain of the species, as they're a little bit more dangerous. I wouldn't want to be dealing with some 1,200-pound creature that one kick could kill me. So we let him deal with some of the larger creatures.
The sheep are 1,200 pounds.
The cow
I was
creatures.
gonna say the cow.
It was in the pen with the crow.
Oh,
the
Bobby,
cows that was bloody.
And today was slaughtering day for the
For some of the larger
Cows.
breeds that we have,
cows,
yes.
whatever they're called.
Jack only comes about once a week, and that's generally when we do that. And also, they're not docile. They're a little aggressive, especially some of the boys in there.
I give a slight shrug to Mikhail. Just,
Actually, can I bump the shoulder of Mikhail real quick? Would I know about his ability to be able to sense dragons? The
Yeah,
dragon.
well,
Yes.
we know we have a ring.
Yeah. Okay. I would be able to kind of like nudge and be like, "Do you want to test the device now to see if it is a dragonborn thing or a dragon thing?"
letting us.
You would know it's already
No,
the
no,
dragon
no.
thing. Dragonborns are detected by this.
Hey, Dada.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's what you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Say hi.
I probably would have elaborated on that when I first put forth the hypothesis that he was the dragon.
So the halfling couple kind of leave as you guys look out the window, and there's probably about a dozen what you would generally see as the unsavory folks. There's bugbears, there's orcs, there's a couple goblins coming down the road. Mostly beast races, as those are generally what the slave labor is in this realm. So they're coming down the road, and they've got like little satchels hanging over. Some of them got farming equipment. A couple of them are brandishing like blades and weapons, but sheathing them, and they're very much put away. They look like a very intimidating group, but James and Matilda go out and meet with them, and this beast folk seem very excited to see them.
That's cool.
So, is there anything else you guys would like to do in this house, or are you guys just kind of waiting?
I'm just gonna wait.
I think we should go. Okay.
Where do we
Go
go?
where?
We were told Jack would be back here.
In a couple
I mean, it just feels weird to be in their house, but it's okay.
I'm gonna just get
of
comfy
hours. They
on the
welcomed
couch.
us here.
Oh yeah, there's this is a very big living room. Like this is $1 Million House living room. There's 4 or 5 full-size couches ring all the way around.
They got 3 flat screen TVs.
Is there a wet bar?
Is there a wet bar? There is not a wet bar.
Damn it.
Warden.
There's a milk wet bar. There's about a dozen different types that you can mix and match.
They got milk on tap.
I was gonna say I am doing that. I am.
No, they just have a cow.
Like a
Just
There's just
constantly.
tour of the
There's
farms.
just like tits on the wall.
It's just it's on the wall,
Oh my
just magically stretched out from the cow that you can just squirt right into your cup.
Always fresh.
Always fresh.
Warden
Drink
goes.
fresh.
Warden
I'm
goes
drink
out
fresh.
and
That's funny, huh?
Warden goes out and sits on the deck,
Okay, so
kind
Warden
of
goes.
stare at the deck, just the one that's
He
over,
thinks I'm
like
funny.
looks over the farm.
Yeah, so you kind of go out the side porch deck and look out at the farm.
I'm just watching.
Go ahead and roll me a perception check.
You think you're funny too, don't you?
I'm gonna be mixing and matching all the notes.
She's got it.
He comes back
It's
with
like
a milk
a la-
suicide.
It's like a la carte. Just like
15 plus 8.
15 plus 8, so 23.
That ain't a la
Yeah,
carte.
so you notice there are,
That's a
from this porch,
suicide.
you can definitely better see
If I
more
die,
of the farm.
die
And there are dozens of different pens with walkways in between of different creatures. Some large, some small. Some have little buildings, almost as like housing for these creatures. Others just have little roofed areas.
It's a brown.
This is a very, very vast.
It's a brown cow.
You would consider this large, even for your
That's
definition
bizarre.
of
Howard
a
chocolate.
farm.
It has
Yeah.
chocolate by a brown
But
cow,
it is purely
obviously.
a.
Strawberry.
It is not produce. It is not like grain or anything. It is.
It's strawberry.
It's more a ranch. Is
What's
what
this
it is.
green one?
However, after probably about 15,
It's gross,
20
too.
minutes, you do see, almost appearing from nowhere over one of the ridges, you see a very, very shiny figure starting to walk towards you.
I can catch the color of the glint.
Oh, yeah. It is a
Oh.
golden glint.
Can I flip my farsight goggles?
Yeah, sure. You flip your farsight goggles down, and as you zoom in, you see Jack. He's got a little stick with a satchel on its end hanging over his shoulder. He seems in far less well-dressed attire. He is wearing pretty much like this
Raggedy.
world's version of a wife beater, exposing his golden skin and scales. He's just got a pair of like thick leather pants on, and is just walking his way back to the farmhouse.
Okay. I'll zoom out just a little bit and peer around him a little bit. Just make sure it's just him walking up.
Yeah, you. It's just him.
Okay. Well, I just kind of go back to, as I'm waiting for him to walk up, I'm going to continue peering over the farm. Kind of
Yeah.
not really entering scan mode. Well, well, what is it? Sentry mode, but kind of like just kind of looking back and forth over the land.
Yeah. So it takes him a minute or two to get up to you, but after all that, he
Sorry.
he's excited, boy. He kind of steps around and, almost with a pep in his step, kind of jumps up the few stairs to get onto the porch and says, "Hello, Warden. How you doing today?"
Good afternoon, Jack. The day could be better.
That is saying the least.
About every day could. Well, let me clean up a little bit. Let me go inside and clean up before we discuss. If you want to join your compatriots inside, no one else will be coming inside for a couple hours at least, so we'll have some time to talk. And he kind of steps in, and you guys hear the crunk, crunk, crunk of these metal feet hitting the ground before running up a set of stairs really quick. He's
And
up
then you
there
hear
for-
another set of clunk.
and then you hear a second section just crunk, crunk, crunk. And you hear very briefly water running for about a minute upstairs, and then
Are you putting that in your mouth?
I walk into the room and say, "The man of the hour has arrived." Give him a moment, and I go and sit back down.
And so
Nobody.
a minute or two later, Jack, wearing more his general attire of a more like a suit. It's at least a suit jacket with nice pants, and kind of steps in.
Daddy.
All right. Well,
British.
it looks like we have everyone here. I'm assuming you guys would like to speak to me about some things, as he kind of steps over and sits in a recliner and kicks up the feet.
I would like to begin by apologizing for the behavior of my compatriots.
I heard there was a little bit of a disruption after I left.
You could call it that. Some might call it that.
I gesture my hand towards the gnome and say, "Care to explain?"
Yeah.
Sure.
Care to
I roll
explain?
insight first.
What are you inside?
I'm wondering, does he already know what we're about to talk about?
I'd give it to you for free. He does seem to. Like, Root contacted him, kind of gave him an update on what's going on.
Alright. Is it a sensitive topic?
It doesn't seem to be.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, he's gonna speak up. He
Another one?
I don't know how to pronounce it. Prestidigitated him, so he's just gonna take out a wad of web from in his hair. Yeah, so the spider problem is a little out of hand.
Yes, I am needing to begin to handle that. However, that is something one conversation will solve. However, I am waiting for someone to arrive. However, I'm sure there are other questions that are more pressing that we must discuss before I
What
get
did you
to
ask?
that.
I'm so sorry. I missed the question at
About
the end.
spiders.
You talked about the web. Like, this is a bit more of an issue than we thought.
What?
Yeah, there are some other questions. Why is there a super frickin' big spider on your desk?
I can't say why there's a really large spider on my desk. I could assume many different things. Was it big enough that you would assume it couldn't have gotten there in that room on its own?
Yes, that's about the size range we're dealing with. In fact, how big would you say it is, just to get frame of reference?
I mean, probably weighs a little less than you, but in terms of radius is probably quite a bit wider.
Right. Did you know that when I talk to it, that big spider is not the mom?
Yes.
So you see why I'm a little concerned about the spider problem.
I can understand your concern about the spider problem in the whale's call. And I can say that it is likely you that are causing the issue, or at least your party. And I hold no ill will against you. It was accidental. However,
I'm sorry, what?
I
What
don't
did we
know
do?
exactly how you did it, but I know that you are not big friends of the Huntsman. And I know that one of their most popular assassins is, well, a spider-enthused woman, one to say.
Met any Gith in your time?
What?
Have you met any Gith in your time?
I have met many a Gith.
A Gith obsessed with spiders?
No. There
Well-
are very few spiders in the Astral Sea.
Well, it seems that your establishment was met with a strange figure. A Gith'Yanki, I would assume, of the Gith races. Who, according to one of my members of the party, bore illusions of spider. Well, was masking illusions of spider. Or not spider.
No.
It was just an illusion of himself.
And did you say that?
I don't think I said it.
No, he has not spoken at all about the fact
Oh.
that
Yeah,
he
so you
noticed
wouldn't
the
know.
illusion.
Retcon.
I didn't even say that I.
Spoke with him.
Yeah, I
Retcon.
haven't even talked about
Retcon.
talking with him because I did all that telepathically outside the bounds of the walkie-talkies.
Anyone up there watching?
Retcon.
It's fucking adorable.
Anyways, I'll repeat a different phrase now.
Thank you. How do you say thank you?
Have
Say
you met any
thank you.
Gith'Yanki recently?
Recently, I can't say that there are many on Dan yet. I assumed that at some point they would be expanding their interests from Northern Volusia into Dairn at some point, especially with certain alliances that they may be interested in developing with either the Dwendalian or the Katanan empires. So it wouldn't surprise me if there were Gith here at this point. I can't say I have met any in particular.
Put 'em in there.
You mentioned that you are aware of our
Yay.
huntsman situation,
Yes.
Wow.
and I am aware that the Whale's Call is a safe haven of the... What's it called again?
The Kravas Guild. We are indeed linked
Uh-oh.
with them, yes. We have done many jobs for them, and they have supplanted us with jobs to do over the years.
Then what do you know of our situation and what's unfolding? You said we have done something.
Well, I know that you have a bounty on your head that was
What?
very
Oh.
high at one point before being completely unregistered. Which, for those who are not contract killers and or just contract workers in general when it comes to Dawns here in Dan, what that generally means is you killed one group, probably on the road. Another group, thinking they could
Are you
kill
all
you
done?
easily, followed
Okay,
and or
okay.
found you, tracked you down, and you were also able to defeat them. And after that point, rather than continuing to let smaller groups of those who knew about the bounty to continue attempting to destroy you, they instead took the bounty away, facaded it as the bounty being already fulfilled, and then sent somebody or a group of people they actually believed could do the job, or more than could do the job, to actually go and finish it. That way they don't continuously waste.
And you believe this spider incident to be related?
I would assume so. I am not the fondest of the huntsmen either. I have had my own run-ins with them and my own issues. In fact, all of Karth is generally protected by, well, me against them. So they don't come around very often. Legally, they're allowed to, and I can't do anything in that regard. However, if they started something in the Whale's Call, that would be a different story.
One can most certainly finish it.
That was Claire, not Nari.
I'm sure you have more questions. Anyone can ask.
I do have...
Do you have a... We have a quest of sorts, a mission. We require the heart of a dragon, though we do not wish yours. Do you have an idea as
Well,
to
I
where
would
we
be
might
very hurt if you wanted mine. I thought we were friends at this point.
I would consider us that as well. Although I kind of wish you had told us you were a dragon, but you know.
Mikhail, I nod to you for the ring. Activate it.
Hold up the ring.
Yes, I can sense when something is trying to ping me, for lack of better terms. That is, well, it just happened to work out that in my schedule I was coming out here today. I would rather not have this conversation in the Whale's Call. While I trust my brothers with my life, they do not trust their own minds. So, while I have told them many a time, I have also wiped their minds many of the time, so that they may not spread disinformation. Woot is the only one who is truly trustworthy to keep it.
He's the one we didn't talk to.
Right?
Yeah. Pretty much.
Do you know where we might acquire the heart of a dragon that is perhaps less friendly than yourself?
There are a few places. I mean, mostly back in Volusia. You could, of course, always go down to Draconia. There are plenty of dragons there. However, you'll have a harder time leaving it unscathed. There are plenty of conclaves of a singular dragon holding over many dragonborn and kobolds that I could point you to back in Volusia. An issue with Dan is the fact that the original wars between the giants and the dragons occurred here on Dan, along with the schism. And many other happenings occurred here. And so there are many, many old ruins, relics, and old traps set by each of them in their old wars that make it difficult for either giants or dragons to be anywhere but populated areas. If they were out in the ruins, they may fall into an old draconic trap,
I'm right here. Honey,
making it dangerous for either of those types to exist in the wilds here. Only more powerful ones could manage it, in which case, but even then, why risk it when you can control things from a more populated society?
How old are you?
You didn't actually answer my question.
What
Not
was your
really.
question again?
Where can we find a dragon?
Oh, well,
That's
I'll answer
not
this
you.
question first. I cannot tell you exactly. I can tell you for this cycle of my stages of life, I am somewhere in between 900 and 1200 years of age.
I assume your blessed parents don't know.
No. I am not a golden dragon. I am not your general dragons. I am a steel dragon. Beckoned by Ao himself to create, develop, and instill new art for the later generations to find, and whether it be read through or perceive and understand, in which case they can learn from it. For me, I am in this cycle. I am a bard, a traveling bard in an adventuring party.
You say this cycle. How many cycles have it
I do
been?
not know.
How many can
Once-
you remember?
Well, when I say cycles, whenever I feel I have developed enough and created enough to pass the test.
The test?
Yes, it is the process of a steel dragon's life. And just letting you know, I likely will erase most of this conversation from your memory.
Jack, we've worked so hard for this.
The job of the steel dragons is to tell history where others won't. To tell how the cultures and the stories and the people existed in this time. When 1,000 years from now, Avarian is in ruins, the Khatanit Empire is changed hands 5 times, but there is still a ledger in this random tavern here in Dan that tells the stories of Jack Strongback and his party. That is the goal of the Steel Dragons and my kind. In that, every time I would finish a general lifetime of whatever creature I have decided to live, and erased the previous one after finishing the artistic project, once I have collected enough to believe that I could pass Ao's test, I bring it before him, and I live my entire life, or my entire lives, in but a moment. And if I pass, I move on from this realm into another dimension that only Ao knows. And if I don't, I am nothing but a newborn steel dragon again, to try again. I do not remember my failure. I do not know if I have failed the test. I do not even know if I have taken it before. All I know is that I've lived about 7 lives in this cycle, And this one will likely be coming to an end within 20 years, as that is about the time most Dragonborn die. I am old, almost, for the case of most Dragonborn. The ripe old age of 47. It is past middle age for us. He will know well. Atan, right?
Yes.
How old are you, Atan? You're 20-something, aren't you?
I'm 25.
Generally
You're-
considered the
You're
peak.
almost middle-aged.
Beautiful and yet sad existence.
Yes.
It is my purpose.
Most of my time as an adult that I've lived,
It is
I've been
what I live for.
a worker. By worker, I mean by put into a
And-
slave position by the traveling band that lived near my village. I got captured. And then eventually they got all killed off. I was spared somehow. And then I got picked up as a fighter. And then eventually I was saved, bought off, and now I've come here to work.
Nice.
Mikhail knows your backstory now.
Jack stopped and just started listening in. Either way.
That's what I have to say about it too.
You liked it.
Whoa!
I am sure you have other questions for me.
When was your last adventure?
It was about 3 years ago. And actually, that can segue me into your original question about the spiders. There is a reason that I have aligned myself with the Kravis Guild in most cases. The Strongbacks, for a short period of time, were a very highly sought after band of adventurers. Many people were wanting us to work for them. And we had worked with the Kravis Guild some, and before the Huntsmen truly became the slave hunters that they are now, we worked with them a little bit as well. However, when we decided to split paths, some of the Huntsmen were not as happy about it. One of which being Santhara. She is a Dryda. She is who I assume was sent after you.
What's a dryden? Just
A Dryda is the body of a spider. Think of a centaur, but human and spider.
Woman from here.
Oh, I got it. Dryden.
Spider
Yeah,
from
got
Never
it.
Down.
No. Good now. I saw a picture of it actually. We talked about this last week, I think.
I think
briefly.
so, yeah.
Yes, so
She's got a spidusi. Spider.
The Dussy.
I also know of, how else to put this, a giant that she has as a friend,
Hey,
purveyor, lover. It's always questionable with those two.
Nari's gonna be visibly disgusted.
Well, she in her Dryda form is quite large. Well, not as big as a giant, not a cloud giant by any means, but a Kandakar Undercloud. He will likely also be following if she is here.
Did you say candy horde?
Kandakar.
Candy whore.
Kandakar.
Kandakar.
Candy car.
Candy Candy.
It's like Honda, but Kanda and then car.
So,
That's
yes,
so helpful.
there are likely things that will be coming after you here in the near future. If it is in Koth, I might be able to help you, or at least if it is in the Whale's Call. I would be incredibly surprised if they did, as more of the issues I have with the Huntsmen are not with Santhara or any people down below, but their head himself.
Oh yes, the dragon in charge of them.
He is perceived as being a number of different magical beings. However, what he is known as a grey dragon.
Kandahar?
No,
No.
this is Sarasis, an ancient grey dragon. I do not know his age, but I have worked with him in the past, with little knowing of his true intentions on where he would take the Huntsman. I have, in some ways, become a rival to him, as there are certain areas of Dan where he can not work. But it is not an active and aggressive situation. We merely live in our own spaces and do not disturb each other.
So when you say he's perceived as a number of magical beasts, is he
It's-
truly a dragon?
He is a dragon. It is just the rumors have seen him as a beholder, as an aboleth, as a giant, as a dragon. I do not know him very well, I would say, but from every form he has taken in front of me, he is what is known as a grey dragon. Masters of the hunt.
And he would be on the continent.
He would be up north. In fact,
Oh,
he's gonna pull out a map, which is pretty much just this. Oh my lord, we have so much shit on this table.
well,
I
you know
don't
what? Because we didn't have the map out. We didn't have to worry about it, honey.
Where are you going?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm getting this.
Where are you going?
Probably. I need to start making smaller maps, or getting a bigger.
I think the bigger tables the better.
Yeah, but big tables do, but not cheap.
They are. That's why I don't have one yet either.
We can argue about it. We'll move into that.
I got
So,
a baby.
Before, I'm not gonna leave this up here. So, Claire, if you want to come take a peek. So, pretty much, you guys are here in Karth. Hey, Claire. Ice Top Fortress is the home of the Huntsman. So now that you guys have that kind of in your minds and can kind of understand what he's talking about.
Honey, did you have the...
Up in the northeastern side, there is a large fortress with towers based around it. That is where Ceresis has his home. It is where the huntsmen are deployed from. They have guild halls in every major city, but that is where all their new troops of huntsmen from the mainland come in. They do not arrive in Karth nor Drinder, but instead up there.
Well, back to my question. Do you miss adventuring?
In some ways, yes. However, my book is nearly full. If your question is, will I help you come defeat Ceresis? That is not my purpose in this life.
Could it be like a side purpose? I'm sorry.
One thing I hope you all will learn before you reach my ripe old age of over 1,000. Sometimes
I
you
kind
have to let others.
glance over at Mikhail because you know.
Sometimes
Literally.
you have to let others find their own path and make their own mistakes and or their own triumphs. I have seen you grow in power over your months here in Daern. While it is still a question whether you would be able to defeat either Ceresis or Santhara, that is your quest. That is your destiny. You were sent here for a specific reason and got diverted. But that is your mission. I am willing to help in terms of supplies and acquiring things for you and giving you a place to stay whenever you need it. And my people will protect you as long as you are in Karth. But that is the extent of how Jack will help you in your destiny.
Do you know your real name? Or the one you started with?
I will remember when my time has come.
Well, with more apparent matters at hand, any suggestions? Since there's a spider on our tail.
Well, there's the Dryder, there's likely a giant, and if it is true with what you were saying about a Gith, it is possible that the Gith have made some sort of deal with the huntsman. And there is a new addition to her duo that is now a trio. If that's the case, Santhara, she is an interesting creature. She likes to disguise herself and her giant pet and talk with her prey. Meet them in places where maybe combat isn't an option. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if she comes to the Whale's Call this evening, if she's available.
So we have another Kethrak, but spider.
And
I
they're
just
not-
kind of grin a little bit, and I go,
Sit.
and these matters of illusion for her,
Sit.
could she have been this Gith?
She could have quite possibly. Generally, she only shifts to other female forms.
Do we know if the Gith'Yanki was male or female?
It was a male Gith'Yanki.
Just wondering.
Would mention the whole, like, alternate eyes.
To me, that just sounds more like the Gith'Yanki magics. I would not say Jack I knows much about the Gith'Yanki, as I only fought them for short periods with the Strongbacks back in the Katana Empire. I would assume that he is a third party, or that he is appropriated with them and will have to be viewed as a threat as well. In terms of Santhara, she is egotistical at best and overtly and astoundingly arrogant at worst. She by far will believe that she can defeat you with ease. I do not know if that's the case. I would not expect so. But it will be difficult. If she believes that the fight is not going her way, then she will likely try to throw all her eggs in one basket and teleport away with one of your unconscious bodies. In a sense, to hold a captive.
I do not volunteer as tribute.
She is more than willing to let her giant stand in front and take all the hits. And when I say he's giant, he is large. Quite large. Very slow. Not very smart. And has been charmed by her for decades at this point. In terms of the Gith'Yanki,
I'm sorry, it's been so serious for like the past 10 minutes on my ranks. I'm right here. Oh, did you close it?
For the Gith, I can give very minimal advice. If it is true that he is more a warrior than a spellcaster, then you are in luck. As Gith, spell slingers are more dangerous than your average. But their swordsmen are also more dangerous than your average swordsman, oftentimes propelling a second form of themselves that can also attack and surround you, sometimes even three at the same time. Yes, Nari?
Nari's tired.
Well, we have spare bedrooms here if you would wish to rest. It is not quite evening. However, I would say if the spiders followed you all the way to the Whale's Call, they would likely be able to sense or follow you here.
I do not wish to cause your family.
And if that is the case, I would ask you to return to the Whale's Call, as they will not... They would not think twice about attacking this farmstead. But they would about the Whale's Call.
Well,
Do you have any more questions for me?
With
You don't
the-
have to raise your hand.
Oh, sorry.
I feel like that's also definitely a thing.
So you said you were probably gonna wipe our minds, which I don't really like. How much would you be getting rid of?
It is not for the general populace to know the way of the Steel Dragon.
Well,
Any information about the
No
huntsmen
pitting. You can touch.
and
No pit.
their grouping would still be there. You would know that I'm a dragon. You would know that I'm a steel dragon. But you would not know what that means.
oh, if that's it, then I would be fine with that. To be honest, it's a really great honor to meet you. And Dragonborn meeting a dragon. I mean, that's like a pretty big deal to me.
Yes.
Not gonna lie, I'm kind of fanboying right now.
He's been edging over there.
Shut the fuck up.
I've just been like rubbing the pole of my axe.
Like red.
That's what you call it. Okay.
You don't drop the axe, do you?
No.
Oh, thank goodness.
Jack says, well, it was an honor to meet you at time. Know that while oftentimes the dragons are more powerful than the dragonborn, we are all dragons. While many others will try to lord that over you, there is no reason to.
Oh, if
They
only
tried
the
to
kobold
look.
was still here.
Good.
Which is what I'm hoping to do
Right?
with
If
that
only
other
the
guy,
kobold
the
was
the
still
gray guy. He sounds, he's a gray one.
Speaking of, he will likely get the jump on you. He's very, very stealthy. He's a predator at heart.
That's the
I like the confidence. Well, I must change again and get back out to work. There is more butchering to be done. And also, I'm sure you're curious as to why there was so much death. While I am in a smaller form, I still must consume to my true form. That is why these farmsteads are here.
I was wondering about that.
I know.
I know.
So, are there any last questions?
None from me.
Just say, I do have one last question for you. I'm looking for someone. Have you seen me? And then as I say me, I'm going to shift into the white.
I have not. Not personally. I can put some feelers out if you would like. I would say for changelings, they are oftentimes, well, people are a little bit more chaotic, a little more hard, a little difficult to control. And therefore will oftentimes do their best to find ways to break free of their bondage. So, either, whoever you are looking for, if they are, again, like you, are serving a sentence somewhere, whether that be servitude or some sort of prison, or was found intriguing by whatever slave hunters picked them up and was kept. If you are able to, question Sandara about it.
Well,
She may have more information than I.
you stopped doing something that was fun then.
Alright, thank you. Now I'll shift back to my normal form.
Nori, Warden, Drake, anything you wish to ask me before I go back into the fields and alter a little bit of this conversation in your memory?
No, but I am going to put this, and he holds up a little gem. Says, I wanted to put this in one of the kitchen drawers. I think I'll ask you, where should I put this? I wanted to give him a little gift. Your parents, they're very nice.
They are very kind, aren't they? I believe I chose well with them.
You chose well.
Yes.
Where would they find it?
He kind of leads you into the kitchen and points you over to
James?
one little area that has a whole bunch of very specifically made utensils to be the size that halflings need. My mother will often use this drawer as her primary residence
What's he
to
doing?
find things.
Is he giving gold away again?
He's
A
gonna
jewel.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
They would appreciate it.
A diamond worth 10k.
Oh, that's it. And he's gonna set it down. Is Jax gonna leave him there?
Okay, we could revive.
Yeah,
the
Jack
dead dog with
Jack
that.
would leave it there in the drawer.
But would he leave me in the room?
Probably not. As soon as you set it down, he would probably kind of push you out. What would you be looking for if you wanted to stay in there?
Oh, he wanted to write himself a note.
Write himself a note for it? Okay. He wouldn't. Yeah, he would push you back into the living room. All right. You've left your mug.
Careful, we don't want him to throw up, honey.
You gonna throw, bud?
Nari, Warden.
Yeah, his head's getting free.
Yo, he is red.
Can you go?
Well,
Projectile all over.
if that be the end, I would like everyone to gather in.
Kumbaya.
And as everyone kumbayas, he kind of touches your foreheads, and you guys remember everything about the conversation, about for the details of his purpose as a steel dragon.
Okay.
So that being the
So all the
developing,
advice, all of the
advice, all of the information about the huntsmen and about how the strongbacks and their history, all of that is still there.
Okay.
You know that he is a dragon. You know that he's a steel dragon.
But we don't know the purpose of the steel dragon.
You do not know
How
the purpose of the steel dragon. So you know he's an ancient dragon that was adopted by some halflings and lived a life and went to Bard College, and is now here and seems to be very powerful.
We know that he wiped our brains. Do we know that there are things that he made us forget about? Like that part of the conversation.
Yes. Every time you attempt to recall this information from now on, you will remember willingly letting those memories be erased.
Okay.
Would I know, as a Dragonborn, would I already know the purposes of a steel dragon?
No.
Okay, I'm just wondering.
Yeah, steel dragons are pretty much not known about.
Yeah, I thought so.
As a
I was
Can you say
wondering.
please?
You know, I'm a fanboy, you know.
That information that he gave you about their purpose is technically able to be come by through much research, but it's not common information. And generally,
It's very small. It's very small.
there's plenty of napkins over there. And generally kept as a secret for the general populace. So, with that, as you guys kind of wrap things up, grab all your gear, and begin making your way back to the Whale's Call for like the third session in a row, we will begin again next session at the Whale's Call in the evening as the hustle and bustle begins, and you guys are deciding where your next path will lead.
Beans.
Alright, we're going to go ahead and end there.